primary classes 1, 2, 3, we should teach them lots of sight words, high frequency words. Maybe in the third standard, children should be able to read at least 500 to 600 high frequency words. First 100 high frequency words are given here, page number 26. Next 100 is given in the revised module. So can you read the words given in the first column? Anybody? Sir, read. Here. Listen. Silence. He will read. Yes. About, across, after,
along, animals, another, any, as.
Listen.
Asked, away, baby, back.
No, listen. So let's sit. Yeah. So that's enough. So most of these words, all right, these are called most common words. They are structural words. You can divide vocabulary into two types. What are the two types? Structural words and content words. Structural words and content words, or functional words and content words, or grammatical words and meaningful words. So what's the difference? Structural words are necessary for grammar. Which words come under structural words? All prepositions. All right. Helping verbs. Some examples for structural words. Prepositions. Articles. And then conjunctions. Yes, conjunctions. And then all pronouns. All right. And content words. Words which carry meaning. Words which carry all nouns, adjectives. Which words are more important for reading comprehension? Which words are more important? Content words, because content words carry meaning. So if I say, for example, vivid, is that a structural word or content word? Content word. You may not know the meaning. You can't understand the story without knowing the meanings of content words. So content words are key words. Structural words do not carry meaning. They are necessary for grammatical purposes. If I say, for example, remote table, you can understand remote is on the table, for example. So the remote is on the table. How many structural words? How many content words? The remote is on the table. How many content words? How many structural words? 2 content words. Only 2 content words. So you have to begin teaching vocabulary with the help of structural words first, because sentence has only 2 content words. The other words are structural words. The remote is on the table. The remote, see, 3 or 4 structural words. So class 1, 2, 3, we introduce structural words in the first place. All structural words. You can have a chart. You can display the chart in the classroom, make them learn these structural words by heart. So if you look at first 100 high frequency words, most of them are structural words. Look at this, for example, first 100. The first word is the. It is most frequently used word. High frequency means most frequently used. The, and then, and, a, to. Only said is a content word. In, he, I, of, it, was, all these are structural words. Right? So children can easily start reading if they know structural words. So only content words you need to introduce. You have to teach content words, meaning and pronunciation and all that. So generally, which words do we introduce first? Structural words or content words? Structural words, sight words, high frequency words, structural words. If they know first 500 structural words, high frequency words, they can read text at their level. Simple stories they can read easily. Right? Content words, they need your help. Right? For example, if you look at the next list, here, you have words like, say, shouted, for example, shouted, and then mouse, all right? There are many content words. So, many of them may not be able to read those content words. Okay, so that is one way of introducing vocabulary. First 100, the next 100, the next 100. So, until maybe you introduce 1000 words, 1000 sight words, or you can call them common words or high frequency words. Once they're familiar with 1000 words, they can read many texts on their own. Alright, many texts at that class. Okay, and then in the module, so I thought you will talk about this high frequency words when you are teaching vocabulary. And next is how to present vocabulary. Next page in the revised module, page number 27. How to present vocabulary. For example, you can have lots of games, language games. This is one such game. How many words can you think of beginning with M? You can ask students to write words beginning with M. Let's say you start writing, just write it in your notebook. Open your notebook. So this is the first thing. Write as many words as you know which begin with the letter M. Yeah, write it. Let's see who can write 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 words. I'll give you 1 minute. 1 minute, you should write all the words beginning with M. Don't tell others. Write it in your notebook. Don't include proper nouns. Names of people, Madhav, Madhavi, no. Words should be there in the dictionary. You should be able to check the spelling and meaning. So only words which are there in the dictionary. You can stop. Next, second one. Second, how many words can you think of ending with M? The last letter should be M. Let's see. Write words ending with M. So you're trying to recall vocabulary that you already know. Ending with M. Okay, next. Write the name of an insect that ends with T. Name of an insect that ends with T. Write it. Ends with T. Name of an insect that ends with the letter T. Now write it in your notebook. Don't tell me. Ends with the T. Name of an insect that ends with T. Okay, next. Name of a country that begins with P. P for pen. Write it in your notebook. Don't tell me. Name of a fruit that begins with the letter P. Name of a fruit that begins with the letter P. Name of a vegetable that ends with the letter T. Name of a vegetable that ends with the letter T.
Carrot.
Yeah, you're testing your students, so you should not reveal the answers. All right. Yes. Think of a word that has O in it. O in the middle, for example, or O together. Two O's. A word which has O in it. Write it in your notebook. Yes, O together. A word which has O in it. Something that we use to clean the room, to sweep the floor. Okay, something that we use to sweep the floor. Don't tell the class, write it in notebook. A word that rhymes with wife. A word that rhymes with wife. Next, write two of your favorite describing words. Any two your favorite describing words in English. Write any two verbs or action words that you don't like. Any two action words that you hate. Okay, how many? 11. Okay, that's enough. Can somebody stand up and read? First, yeah, please stand up, read. Who is very quiet? Not the same teachers again and again. Not the same teachers. Please give chance to others. Sir, here. Okay, first one.
How many words which begin with M? Man, monkey, mat, mouse, mop, money, milk, matter, maths, mirror, mug, myth, many, or...
Very good. How many words?
17.
17. Give him a big hand. Very good. Anybody with more than 17 words? More than 17? If you have got the same words, put a cross. Alright, don't read the same words. Yeah, next. 23. 20? How many? 24. Please stand up, read. Next, second one. How many words can you think of? Ending with M. Who will read ending with M? 20. Who has got 20 words? 20. Ending with M. 20. 18. No. 16. No. 15. 10. Not even 10. 10. Stand up, read. Let her read. Yeah, 10 words ending with M. Yes, stand. Confirm. Very good. Them. Him. Gem. Okay, gem. Drum. Seam. Skim. Slum. Okay. Madam. Perform. Very good. All ending with M. Correct. Very good. Next. Another 10. Next. Yes, sir. Read. Calm. Palm.
Program, anthem, room.
Very good. Anthem spelling? A-N-T-H-E-M. A-N-T-H-E-M. Anthem. Very good. Next. Words ending with M. Yes.
Forum, exam, team, turn, platinum, serum, stadium, them.
Very good, very good. So each student will write different sets of words. That's the beauty of this. They will not come out with the same set of words. See, that shows how much of vocabulary they know. They have learned. They're able to recall, retrieve from their memory. So maybe, why did you write all those words? Any reason, particular reason? Thinking of only those words. All right. Yes. Okay. Something will be in the mind. Okay. So that's it. That's also called organic vocabulary. Organic way of teaching vocabulary. Organic means the teacher will begin with collecting words from students. You're collecting words from students, and then maybe you can ask them to use these words and write a short story. All right. If you ask student, they'll come out with all strange words. Okay. So that generally words students give you, they somewhere it reflects their thought process, what is there in their mind. If they say, for example, ask them to write words. Okay, if they write words like ghost, what does it mean? Maybe they are thinking of ghost somewhere. Yeah, there is something that is affecting them. All right. Some students will come out with only negative words. What does it mean?
His mind is active.
Mind. I mean, yeah, maybe something is disturbing them. All right. So that is organic vocabulary. Organic vocabulary means vocabulary coming from students. Right. Yes. Next, third one. Words ending with M is over. Next. An insect. Okay, read, sir. Who will read? So stand up, read all the other words. All the other words. An insect ending with T. No, stand up, read. No, other things. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Stand up. Yes. Cricket is the name of an insect. Correct. Cricket or ant. Correct. How many of you wrote cricket? Cricket. Oh, many. Ant. Okay, all the others ant. Okay. Any other insect? No. Okay. Next. Fourth one. Next. Country's name starting with P. Finland. Finland is not P. Finland is F. Poland. Poland is correct. How many of you wrote Poland? Poland is correct. Pakistan also. Paris is not a country. Paris is not a country. Philippines is a country. Spelling? Philippines, Persia, Peru. That's right. Name of a state, anybody? Name of a state which begins with P. Name of a state? Punjab. Pondicherry is a territorial state. Yes, union territory. Next question. Fruit. Name of a fruit that begins with P. Papaya. Pear. Pomegranate spelling. Vegetable ends with T. Carrot. Beetroot. Carrot and beetroot. Okay, potato, no. Tomato, no. Okay, oh, that's right. Good, very good. Next one. Double O. Balloon, correct. Balloon. Bamboo. Book. Room. Bone. Moon. Spoon. Very good. Look also. Okay, sometimes O is pronounced as O, moon. Alright, sometimes it is pronounced as O, book, for example. B-O, okay, book. G-O-O-D, good. L-O, okay, look. That's cook. Good, yeah, good. Alright, next please. Next one. Sweeping, something that we sweep the floor with. It is broom. How many of you wrote broom? Broom or broomstick? Broom. Mop, no. We don't use, that is mopping is different. This is sweeping. Broom. How many of you didn't write the correct word? Broom? Yeah, see? There's a problem. They're not able to use the right word. Broom or broomstick. Next. Wife, rhyming word. Life, knife. Wife, knife. Always. Don't think of knife when you, remember your wife. Life is fine. Life. Next. Two describing words you like the most. One stand up. Yes. Madam, stand up. Yeah. Yes. Yellow.
Awesome.
Beautiful and wonderful. Why do you like these two words? These are your favorite adjectives. Okay, next. Pleasant and magnificent. Very good. Marvelous. Okay, next. Adjective. Bold. Brave. Next. Intelligent. Good. Think of some interesting adjectives. Very interesting adjectives. Fantastic. Okay, right. 2 action words that you hate. 2 action words. Kill and stand up. Wait. Kill and envy. Envy is a positive word actually. Jealous is negative. Envy is positive. I envy him means I would like to become like him. If you envy someone's achievements, envy as a verb, correct. So you don't like that word. Envy, okay, and then kill. What are the other action words? Quarrel, cheat. What is that? Cook. You don't like it. Okay. Cook. All action words she doesn't like. Okay, next. Shout. You don't like it. Correct. Murder. Yeah, correct. Kill, murder. Grudge. You don't like that. Very good. Grudge. Snore. Very good. Snore. Don't like it. Don't like. All right. Yes. Next. And yeah. Action word. All right. That is a noun. And meat is a noun. A verb. Think of a verb. Any other verbs that you hate in English? Knocking. Okay, knocking it. Right. Gossiping sometime. Yes. Gossiping. Yeah. Chatting. Chatting is okay, but gossiping is not okay. Chatting is okay. Chatting on your WhatsApp also you chat, but gossiping about others, that is not a good thing. All right. And then lying, for example, cheating, lying. Okay, right, all right. So this is one way through such activities, games, all right, you can try to improve their vocabulary. Some examples are given on page number 27, how to present vocabulary, some warmers, vocabulary games, and then for example, warmer 2, I went to the market and I bought. I think in your language games, I think some of you have played all this. I went to the market and I bought name of a vegetable. Then somebody has to repeat and add one more vegetable. I went to the market and I bought fruits. I went to the market and I bought fruits and vegetables. Just keep adding. So they can use different words. All right, vocabulary. And next is, I've come to a training program. For example, here on the first day, I've come to a training program and I'd like to learn. See, first day we can do this as an ice breaking. I've come to RIE and I would like to learn. Dash. He will say something. She'll add to it. I'd like to learn this. I'd like to learn that. Or I'd like to visit this place, that place. Right. Okay, there are many such vocabulary games to make your classrooms interesting. So it is very important. See, without grammar, very little can be conveyed. Without vocabulary, nothing can be conveyed. Children cannot open their mouth without vocabulary, without having sufficient knowledge of vocabulary. They can't read, they can't write. So vocabulary is one of the fundamental blocks of language learning. And next is, so how do our students learn vocabulary best? All right. So if you make it fun, if vocabulary learning is fun, then they learn better. So this is fun is very important. And then you should have varied activities. Varied means different types of activities. Maybe some oral activities, some written activities like this. Yeah, some games and learning styles, some using pictures, visuals. There are many children who are visual learners, some who learn by doing things. All right. So in groups, pairs, and then, vocabulary should be relevant. So it's not just, what I'm trying to say is, as Venu sir said, it's not just about teaching what is given in the textbook face sheet. You should develop the general vocabulary related to everyday life, which helps them to talk about their experiences, their everyday lives. If you want them to talk about everyday routine, then you should introduce words related to routine. So what are the words, vocabulary related to our routine? Wake up, brush, have breakfast. See, many of them say, for example, I took breakfast at 8 o'clock. The other day, with the other group, PDP batch, I was trying this. Tell me 5 sentences about your daily routine. They said, I took breakfast, I took lunch. Do we say took lunch? I had or I ate, you can say. I ate my breakfast at 8 o'clock. You can't say I took my breakfast at 8 o'clock. That is very, very casual, informal. You can steal someone's breakfast. All right. Yeah, but right word is have. I had my breakfast. So when we, daily routine, what is the tense we use? Simple present tense. Simple present tense. So vocabulary is very important when you talk about your everyday lives. Or for example, I mean, many of them said, for example, I go to walk for half an hour. I go to walk. Is that correct? That's not right. That's not the right phrase. I go for a walk. So that is also I go for a walk, or I walk. I walk for half an hour in the morning. I walk. Or for example, some more common mistakes. These are all very common mistakes they make. I make breakfast. I make breakfast. Make breakfast? Prepare breakfast. I prepare, or I cook breakfast. I cook breakfast. All right. And then I do meditation. I do meditation is okay, but not do meditation. I meditate. I meditate for 30 minutes. Yes. And then I pray God. That's what I pray God. I pray to God. I pray to God. See, this is also both vocabulary and grammar. They go together. Right? So such simple vocabulary, you should help your students. Not just bookish vocabulary. Bookish vocabulary may not help them to speak. All right. If you want them to, for example, describe a place, tell me about a place you had been to, your favorite place. You had been to Kodagu, Mysore. If you have to describe the place, then you should have sufficient words, phrases, vocabulary. All right. Otherwise, you have to lock your mouth. All right. Yes. And then, so some of the activities, I mean, techniques. One is using, for example, pictures, and then using miming, for example. You can mime many of the words. For example, sneezing. Sneeze. How do you explain the meaning? By acting out. Sneeze, snore, yell. So you can act out. All right. So miming, and then showing pictures, showing some videos, and then finally translation. If they don't understand the meaning in English, you can always translate it into their mother tongue, especially abstract terms. Depression. How do you explain depression? Maybe better you translate it into their mother tongue. Depression.
Actions, showing pictures, we make them understand.
Correct.
Try to make them understand.
That's it. Or see the names of fruits, vegetables. Pomegranate. However much you don't have picture right now, so you want to tell them the meaning. You explain. Go on explaining. It's like this. It's like that. Can they understand? No. Simple. You try to translate it into the mother tongue. Everybody can understand. That's right. Yes. So translation is also one of the techniques, but it is not the only technique. Yes. Right. So next is, for example, how to explain meaning. Next page. Providing explanations and then giving synonyms sometimes. You can give synonyms. Antonyms also help them to understand the meaning, and then giving definitions. All right. So next page, tips for teaching vocabulary. Tips. Students, spend a good amount of class time teaching vocabulary. Don't neglect vocabulary. Spend a good amount of your time teaching them vocabulary, practicing vocabulary, testing vocabulary. All right. You should spend quality time, because students don't just pick it up. Mother tongue they pick up. Words in mother tongue, Kannada, Telugu, they pick up because all their friends speak Telugu. That's the language they hear everywhere. At home, when they talk to friends, canteen, everywhere, neighbors. But English, they can't pick up just like that because there is no environment. So you have to make deliberate attempts to teach vocabulary. Vocabulary that helps them to use English. So students need 3,000 words to reach B1 level, that is high school level. So when they reach high school level, class 8, 9, they need at least 3,000 words, ability to read and use these words in their own sentences. 3,000 words. All right. Which are these 3,000? You can just Google, you will get 3,000 most commonly used words in English. And then not just teaching, but also reviewing what you have taught. Review means to revise. You have to keep revising vocabulary. And teach vocabulary in context, not isolated words. All right, words which go together. For example, when you're teaching the meaning of hand, okay, hand. What are the other words that go with hand?
Handmade.
Handmade,
Handkerchief.
handkerchief. Introduce all those words. It will help them. Hand pump, handbook, correct, handbook, handbag, handbag, hand in handicraft. For example, handicraft, hand in hand. Hand in glove. All right, right hand, left hand. He's my right hand means He's my right hand means great support. He's my great support. All right. He's there beside me. Right hand. He gave me a left-handed compliment. Left-handed compliment means negative compliment. All right. Negative praise. That's right. Yes. And then hand gloves. Hand gloves. Yeah. Hand gloves. Correct. And then small hand and clock. What do you call them? Clock. It has two hands. Long and a short hand. It has a different meaning. It's not this hand. It's a different hand. That's right. So that is called teach vocabulary in context through phrases, lexical expressions and chunks, not teaching isolated words. All right, or through collocations, right? And then there is something called binomials. Binomials means words which are joined by and or. Can you think of any word which has and in it? And or. For example, many examples are given here. Now and then. See, and. Now and then. Here and there. Huh? Cup and saucer. Very good. They are called binomials. Binomials. Pros and cons. Bread and butter. Any other examples? Huh? Black and white. Correct. Black and white. Pen and pencil. All right. Up and down. Maybe some you are coining your own words. Some fixed expressions in English like this. Fixed. To and fro. On and off. Correct. On and off. And also but. Words with but. For example, not but actually, or I think. Yeah. See, do's and don'ts, ifs and buts, mix and match, new or never. Or for example, new or now or never. Do or die. Do or die. Correct. These are all, they are called binomials in English. Binomials. So it's good to teach them some of these expressions. Okay. Yes. So that's right. So that's about vocabulary. We'll move on to the next part.